So ever since Shannon Sharpe left Undisputed, they haven't been on the air. And I was thinking, maybe it's like strategic. A lot of sports shows are actually off the air right now because, it's a little slow right now, slim pickings. However, it was right after the NBA Finals, and they actually missed not only the draft, where I know Skip Bayless goes for the Spurs, and they were getting Wemby, which, again, it was obvious, but, they still want to be on. They hype it up. They, debate 2 and 3 or whatever the case is, and they missed free agency. NBA free agency. And there was a lot of moves. And there was tricklings about, who's going where, what the fuck's happening, what direction they're going with, who's the co-star. When Shannon Sharpe was leaving, it was actually kind of contested. There was a lot of names out there. Nick Wright was out there, Joy Taylor. Who else was out there? I think it was Max Kellerman, especially, now that he's released actually from ESPN. Maybe that's going to become more real. I did see a snippet of Skip Bayless' podcast where he says that Lil Wayne and Young Money, I think he does some sports venture, is going to be more involved than ever. So, again, he's just kind of throwing things out there. He actually also took this time, because I think he still does the podcast, he also took this time to, I don't want to say diss, but at the same time, it's he took this time to throw out a challenge, if you will, to Charles Barkley, which Charles Barkley pretty famously hates Skip Bayless, and talks about beating him up all the time, talks about killing him. If I had him in a room, I'd kill him, or whatever. He says it tongue in cheek, but also I hate him. I do hate him. And so they have this rivalry, and he, Skip Bayless on his podcast, he actually said, "I would love Charles Barkley. I'll pay your salary, whatever that means, and I'll beat you up every day." And he did that thing where he's like reading it. "I would love to beat you up every single day." Idiocy. I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway. He's been bored, is what I'm assuming, because dude wakes up like at 2 in the morning every day, runs, and then the rest of the day just, I don't know, thinks about LeBron every day. I have no idea. I have no idea what the machinations. I can't even imagine what goes on in the brain of Skip Bayless. But Front Office Sports here put out some good insight as to what's going on. Gave us some insight here.
Skip and Shannon, who are a very successful duo for 6 years on Undisputed, and his departure has left them scratching their head, and Skip scratching his head on who he's going to replace him with. It's making Skip kind of nuts from what I hear, because the guy's a human hot take machine, who lives to do hot takes every morning. And for all this NBA stuff to be going on without him weighing in is a little frustrating.
And I think that nobody wants to work with him. I think that's also part of it as well, that, like, I don't know that people necessarily are, like, dying to work with them. And so it just makes it that much more interesting to see, I guess, what's going to happen with the show. Because he has a show. He has a platform. And I think eventually somebody will take it. But it's kind of like Spurs, where Tottenham Hotspurs, where it's a big platform, it's a big team. You're in the Premier League. They just didn't have that elite talent that they could tap into, because the elite talent of managerial talent was not keen to go to Tottenham. And I think it's the same with Skip Bayless, where it's like he has this giant platform that he can offer somebody. He can offer them this giant platform, but it went so bad with Shannon Sharpe. It just went so sideways that I think that he really, really just kind of damaged people wanting to come on and be the debate partner. And again, I think Class Act, Stephen A. Smith, said, he was very appreciative and he loves Skip Bayless, and Shannon Sharpe said the same thing. Again, is that maybe his was more posturing, maybe, but I think he's a class act. I think he's a classy guy, and that's just one of them things that's just what you say. And I think that is one of those things where he said it, but at the same time, I think that there was something genuine, because before that platform, he was known, but now he's a household name. Shannon Sharpe is. So I think eventually somebody will take it up and just go in there. I'm assuming they're gonna have to set some boundaries in with Skip Bayless, because the way that it went down with Shannon Sharpe, I think left a bad taste in the mouth of a lot of people, and I think that's what's causing him trouble right now, is this whole bit, the way it ended. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you think it'll be Nick Wright, which I don't think it will be, but again, he was floated out there. Nick Wright. Who else did we say? LaShawn McCoy, Joey Taylor. Who's that other dude that's on there on Speak To? Emmanuel Acho. Who else has been floated? Max Kellerman's been floated. He for some reason he mentioned Lil Wayne, so I guess we'll have to see if Lil Wayne's maybe a part of something. Who knows? But that's the information that we have about Undisputed. They, again, from what I saw, they do plan to be back in August. I'm assuming right before football preseason, when all that gets going. Is there anybody you would like to see with Skip Bayless, or should he just kind of slowly dissolve and go away?